More than 8 million Americans call this region home. Here, you'll find every kind of business you can imagine, whether that's food, apparel, finance, construction, oil and gas, manufacturing, or professional sports. So what is it that makes this region so competitive? Why is it such a great place to do business? And what makes it one of the fastest growing parts of the country? I had the opportunity to speak with a major figure in American sports, an entrepreneur and businessman whose teams have racked up Super Bowl victories and who has been instrumental in growing the popularity of Major League Soccer in Dallas and the United States. Dan Hunt is co-owner of the Kansas City Chiefs and is president and co-owner of FC Dallas. I talked with Dan about his extensive business background in North Texas and how he helped the DFW Metroplex secure World Cup matches next year. So here we have soccer, one of the fastest growing sports in the world, and you're able to somehow attract the World Cup to the United States. Your family's getting a lot of credit for it. How did we get here?
Yeah, look, it's a long journey. My father, Lamar, started back in professional soccer in the 1960s, and we always joke about him being about 40 or 50 years too early. But you're right, it is one of the fastest growing sports, really in America, on a professional level. It is the world sport, right? And the popularity that goes with that. But you see what's happening in MLS and what franchise values are, which is, up to $500 million now just for the franchise, which I can remember a day when they were free. So we've come a long ways from that standpoint. But the reason the World Cup is coming back in 2026 is the true economic driver that is the United States. These games are going to be played in the NFL stadiums around, like here in Dallas at AT&T Stadium or at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. And the revenue that can be generated is like nothing, you see anywhere else in major soccer stadiums because it's luxury suites, it's club seats. If anything, we know how to monetize professional sports in the United States.
So here we are at FC Dallas, at this stadium that you were instrumental in constructing in the 2000s. You are overseeing a reconstruction now. Why here? Why North Texas?
My father knew that Frisco, Texas was going to be a business epicenter. He said, guys, I'll be long gone, when he was talking to Clark and I about this project. But he said, I will put you in the middle of the Metroplex one day. He said, the toll road will go to Oklahoma, which eventually it will go to Oklahoma. But he said, just being off the toll road in such a dynamic business community with leadership that gets it. That's a big part of it. And that's really Texas politics, right? From Governor Abbott on down, you have all these officials that understand that, driving business, tax-friendly environments, incentives are the things that lure businesses, lure companies, sports franchises. And these sports franchises are really assets of the community. They're sort of the rallying cry, if you will. And we're fortunate to have so many great teams here in Dallas-Fort Worth.
One of the things you and I have talked before about the fact that the sports teams are here, but then that starts to drive sports medicine here and sports management here and the impact it has on the community, small businesses, vendors, logistics companies, hotels. The impact and the ecosystem that it creates, it doesn't just benefit big business, does it?
No, here at Toyota Stadium Soccer Center, we have almost 2 million annual visitors. And we do everything from FC Dallas games to the FCS National Championship football game to college bowl games, concerts, youth tournaments. That's a big part of our business. The amount of hotel nights that this venue generates is truly unbelievable. The last time we did an economic impact study, the number was around $140 million a year for this community. And we're going to be redoing our stadium coming up and taking it from what was the third soccer-specific stadium built, and really my father's vision of how Major League Soccer was going to make it, where teams were going to have their own stadiums. We were playing in giant NFL stadiums. It wasn't working, but having your own home that's right-sized for the business at the time. Well, now FC Dallas has outgrown our current home. And so we're really excited about our $182 million project here. We'll almost triple the number of suites, go 6,000 club seats. This will be an amazing revenue driver. Recently, we just had the FCS National Championship football game, and it was their largest revenue game ever. And we grew it year over year by 18%, which is just an amazing statistic if you think about it in 1 year growth on this football game. So we're excited about what this new venue, I'm calling it a new venue because spending this kind of money, I'm not even sure it'll be recognizable for fans. But we think we'll be able to do so many more concerts, more football. We have ambitious plans. I mean, it'd be nice to host lacrosse or rugby here. And then as soccer continues to grow, there's more international opponents for us. MLS continues to grow, the Lamar Hunt US Open Cup. So many different revenue streams and great games. And to your point earlier, my dad, this is one of the things that really stood out. My dad was a visionary. You know, Lamar Hunt is really the father of modern sports. I would like to say, you know, NFL, Major League Soccer, an investor in the NBA, created World Championship tennis. But so often we would go around and people would stop him and say, hey, I just want to thank you. I wound up with a job in sports because of you. And that wasn't a professional athlete. I was a broadcaster. I was a media person. I was a trainer. It went on and on and on. And so when you build venues like this, the job creation around it is really amazing.
Dallas has changed. It's not just a big city anymore. It's a global market.
If you needed any justification, getting a World Cup semifinal shows that FIFA now believes this is a global city. We were going to always be fourth or fifth or sixth down the line in prior World Cups because they were thinking about New York and LA, you know, and so that was competition, San Francisco potentially. So now we've catapulted into that market. And my hope for us here is that, you know, we're going to put on such an unbelievable event that the next time the World Cup rolls around, whether it's women's or men's, that the final will be played here in Dallas. But I think one of the striking things, being in the soccer business, so often we have international owners who are in to see their team play FC Dallas or in market because they want to open up a headquarters here in the state of Texas, and they're international companies, whatever it is. Recently I had a Dutch club in, and they're a technology company, the guy who runs the organization, and he said, you know, I was thinking about Austin, but I really think I'm coming to Frisco, Texas. But he said the one thing I'm for sure about is the Texas market is a market I want to be in because I see the incentives, you know, how pro-business these communities really are. And I'm so thankful that we're here in Frisco, Texas.
Well, I am too. And thanks for sharing your story with us.
Yeah, no, thank you. And thank you for your leadership, because these chambers are a big deal for why, you know, we can be successful and so many organizations, and why we live in the greatest country in the world. Whether you're truly a one-person shop or a multi-global brand, you know, you have these, you know, local community organizations and state organizations and federal organizations that help us grow our businesses.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.